The Cubs are not messing around this year. Here comes Cade Horton.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is presented by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Turn any TV into your Xbox. No console required. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. Please stick around for segment 3, where we have fun with Craig Counsell audio. We will do a Cubs-Mets preview, including trying to put these first 41 games into some perspective. And we start with Cade Horton, who is getting called up, the Cubs' top pitching prospect and the 46th best prospect in all of baseball, according to MLB Pipeline, is scheduled to pitch for the Northsiders against the Mets at 6:15 p.m. Central Saturday, exclusively on Fox. Horton is only in his third year of pro ball after being selected 7th overall out of Oklahoma in the 22 draft. I believe that was only a few days after we took over this very show. The right-hander has struck out 33, walked 13 in 29 innings at AAA this spring, allowing just 4 runs on just 12 hits. Sam, it's Cade Horton time.
I'm excited. I'm definitely not surprised. You know, when Craig talked about Cade Horton in spring training, which, by the way, doesn't feel like 2 months ago, he mentioned like Cade Horton. He said something like Cade Horton should be part of the team this year. Like, do you remember that quote? Remember, it was something like that.
He name dropped like 5 guys.
Yeah, and he, they're taking it seriously. And do I think the question is this because of a need, or is this because Cade Horton's earned it, or is this a little bit of both? And I would probably go a little bit of both. I think when I think about Saturday's start, I have one concern. It's one word, and it's walks. I'm just a little bit concerned about the walks, but the Cubs have a need. He's the best option. I don't believe in soft landings at this stage of the game. I'd like to see this young man in prime time in Queens get the ball, show us and the rest of the nation what he can do. I'm excited. I believe Caleb Killian's first debut was a Fox game, so hopefully he has a similarly successful debut, but then it stays successful after that. But I think it's exciting, and I think this team, I think I'm glad there's a little bit of a buzz, and from a baseball standpoint, from a Sam Olber, you're insane day-to-day standpoint, I actually love him going up against the Mets because this is going to be a tough series. Why not throw a guy in there that they haven't seen before that might give you a little edge, where if you just throw a bullpen game in there, I don't know, that could get out of hand. So we'll see what happens. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the fans. I would caution everybody to just, be patient with this kid and let's see where it goes. These homegrown debut starting pitchers, they haven't gone great, in recent memory, but this kid's a tier above some of these other guys like a Killian. So we'll see what happens.
Well, there just haven't been a lot of them.
Right. You're right.
You were at that game.
Yeah, I was.
If I do recall.
I was there. Yes.
And Killian, I think that start wasn't that bad, though, was it?
No, I was saying it. He had a good debut. And then, if you remember, you came over like 2 starts later when he faced the Pirates.
Was that time? Just that 2 starts later?
I think it was like 2 or 3 starts later. Then
he hit a guy in the head.
I think you and I decided it probably wasn't going to work out anytime soon. And then the next year, you were over at my apartment.
And for Killian.
Again. Yeah. Well, no. And then you were over my apartment for him when he started in Miami. Remember that?
Well, it's a shame. I shouldn't be watching this many games with him on the mound, respectfully.
With me, we watched 2 of them.
to the Killian family.
The Przinski was on the call.
He'll be on the call this Saturday. Him, Adam Amin, and Ken Rosenthal.
Okay.
Sunday is going to be Gary Cohen, Joe Girardi, and T-Mac, Taylor McGregor on Roku. So I really like this story about Horton. Well, first of all, what a way to begin a career. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, welcome.
Yeah, I love it.
Horton doesn't have that much experience in his entire life on pitching.
Right.
He was limited by the injury last year. He had a nice 2023, 88 frames, and he pitched only his final year for the Sooners. But this Cubs theme of urgency this season, and it is, I don't care what anybody says, continues. And they decided, because I think a bullpen game, I agree, would have been okay.
Ugh.
And I guess if you started flexing, it's kind of a de facto bullpen game anyway.
Opener. Yeah.
This is much more exciting, much more appetizing. And to use Horton's mileage at the highest level this weekend, the first time the Imanaga spot comes up, that's a big deal to me. That Jed and Craig and everybody else decided to do that, that's big news. I don't know if that would have happened in 2023 or 24 with whomever. And so I think this is good. Rotation right now lines up beginning Friday: Tyone, Horton, Boyd, Ray, and Brown. We know Steele's out for the year. Imanaga may be back later this month. I do think this situation does expose them a little.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dire necessarily. It's just not as welcomed as I would have liked. I think him coming up more so due to somebody's performance maybe would have been.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
listen, they've stayed afloat without Steele, which is, a very long-term assignment. And hopefully this shorter-term assignment with Imanaga out, it works out with Horton.
Well, I think too, Assad. I think this would have been Assad's call if he were healthy. So, a lot.
And Jordan Wicks is not in the mix.
No, well, he just hasn't performed.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Look, what a great opportunity. My advice, which is funny to give, like I've pitched in, a big game like this, but if you're not going to succeed, that's fine, but don't let it be because of the moment. Go have fun with it. It's almost like, to me, it's almost like it is a soft landing in a way, in a good way, because let's say he debuts
because they're on the road.
And because they're playing a team that if they lose, it's not really like, oh, well, they probably were going to lose that game regardless.
Gotcha.
Like, let's say he debuts at home against the Sox. You got 40,000 people there. He has trouble finding the zone. You have the gasps of Wrigley. Almost that's even more pressure. Hey, look, go out there. We're probably going to be fairly big underdogs, and go embrace the moment. Go tackle it. Show the world you got swing and miss stuff. See if you can get some of the best hitters in baseball to look bad, and go make a statement. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, it shouldn't have any harm on your future or your confidence, and you'll get the ball again another time. So, the next time. So I'm excited about this. I think we all needed a little bit of an excitement jolt for Saturday. Because, the last 4 games, they've lost 3 out of 4. Friday's a very tall task against a very good pitcher. And so this will be fun. This is exciting. This is Saturday night has turned into one of those games. Now I watch about 160 out of 162, but this has turned into one where I think most people are going to say, hey, hon, dinner plans? No, we're going to have to carry out for this one. Cubs are debuting Cade Horton. We need to watch this. It's kind of become a must-watch evening.
Absolutely. And we're going to preview in full Cubs and Metropolitans right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Trade Coffee. Let's be real. Coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the United States, delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're like my partner, Matt Cozy, and you love a good cold brew, or you're like the Cubs left fielder, Ian Happ, and you're a pour-over purist, Trade has got a roast that you're going to love. I took Trade's quiz. It only took a minute, and the first bag they sent me was spot on. The coffee was fresh, smelled amazing, and honestly, it ruined grocery store coffee for me in the best way. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customer 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/LockedOnMLB. That's TRADE.com/LockedOnMLB for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/LockedOnMLB.
Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 as you easily stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1 million movies and TV shows from your favorite services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. It's wild because on weeknights, I can go from the Cubs on Marquee to Andor on Disney Plus. Then I go back to the Cubs on Marquee. They have a huge lead. Okay, I could sneak in some Andor on Disney Plus. It's that easy. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. The Cubs begin a 3-game series with the Mets at 6:10 p.m. Central Friday, 6:15 Saturday exclusively on Fox, and 11:05 a.m. Sunday exclusively on Roku. Tyone and Holmes, Horton, McGill, Boyd, Canning, all three Mets pitchers have an ERA under 2.95. Holmes is first up in the series, and he is having a nice year transitioning from the pen. McGill broke out a couple of years ago, and Canning began the winter as an Angel, got traded to the Braves, got DFA'd by the Braves, and the Mets picked him up. He's pitching very well. Mets are 24-14 this season, one of the better teams at all in baseball. And Sam, one thing that I would want to note just off the top, they're one of the best teams in baseball. Juan Soto has been average. And so this is proving to be, and you look at their system, their resources, I don't think it's a reach to sit here and go, hey, they're becoming Dodgers East. Like I respect these guys now.
I think it's
become legit.
Absolutely. I think it's a tad early for me on that.
Yeah.
But you said it. I didn't think they were going to pitch. They're getting pitching.
I know.
They're getting pitching. Like McGill came into Wrigley, got crushed last year.
Yep.
He's been a different guy. You just mentioned Griffin Canning. That's a guy that's bounced around. So in that way, they are a little Dodgers-esque because they're getting these performances from guys that struggled elsewhere. The question is it going to last? Right. And maybe the regression starts this weekend.
Hope so.
As far as Holmes goes, you know how many homers he's given up this year?
No.
None.
Jeez.
So what we're going to have to do, he's an extreme sinker baller.
That's
extreme.
Wild.
He's always been like that. This is where Cubs got to get back to stealing bases, playing some hit and runs, small ball. It's going to be tough to take this guy out of the yard at least more than one time. Who are your fastball hitters? The Dansbys of the world are going to have to be good in this game. And then when you get a guy on, run, hit and run, be aggressive, run and hit. As far as Soto, I think it's so fascinating because he hit 2 homers yesterday, which probably doesn't bode well for us.
Or it does because he got him out of the way.
But it's such a great example of what a superstar is because he hasn't been good. And the talk in New York and Mets fans, I know a couple Mets fans, what's up with Soto? What's up with Soto?
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting 261 with a 385 on base, 478 slug for an 863 OPS. Besides for Carson Kelly, that would be second on the Cubs. And he's not off to a good start. You know what I mean? Like that's
Well, he's walked more than he struck out again.
Yeah. Well, for him, it's the walks. The thing with Soto is when he struggles, and he has this year, he hits a bunch of grounders. You have to keep the ball away from the top of the zone with him. Yeah, pitch him belt high and down. If Tyone hangs one of those cutters belt high or chest high, that's a problem. He won't make you pay as long as you live down. But still a brilliant hitter. Alonso is just off to a magnificent start. I would go as far as to say he'd be in the top 3 to 5 in the MVP conversation as we sit here still in early May.
Well, he's in the Triple Crown convo right now.
Lindor's brilliant. Nimmo's always a pain. He's off to a slow start. Pretty much besides those 3 guys, as I'm looking, they're all pretty much off to slow starts. But they've pitched really well. Good news is you could get to Diaz because you think if the Cubs are going to win this series, one of them might have to be a little bit of a late comeback. He's been wild and off, hasn't been the same guy. But yeah, you're right. They're a really good team. Last year, I believe, if I recall, we split with them. We took 2 there. They took 2 here. So, I don't know why that factoid matters, but I just said it anyway. Remember, that was a Severino game, that whole no-hitter.
It was early in the year.
Wild series.
Mm-hmm.
For me, we're going to talk about the 41 games now. I would love to just get one. The job's already done in terms of those 41 games. The job's done, and you're going to talk about that. But I still don't want to get swept because what I want to talk about for Monday, just to preview, is how important the next 21 are. Because to be a playoff team, you got to beat bad teams, and the Cubs are about to play a whole bunch of them. And I don't want to go into that, on what would that be, a 5-game losing streak or something like that. So I'd like to just get one this weekend. I don't have tons of high hopes. My urgency in terms of game by game and grinding out wins is going to shift, as you'll see next week when we play bad teams. But this weekend, you're playing a really good team on the road. You're banged up a little bit. Just don't get swept. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know where you're at.
Yeah, and I see maybe Saturday or Sunday probably being the most winnable. I'd probably go with Sunday.
I think both. I think honestly every game's up there, in terms of winnable. It's not
please get one.
Yeah, just get one.
And that would give you 23 wins. Yep. And on an episode that we recorded March 20th, I said 20 and 21 through 41. If you woke up on May 12th, you'd be feeling good. I think a couple of days later, we just did a small edit and said 21 and 20. Well, this weekend you enter with 22 victories already to your name. Get the 23, come home, do some damage against all these inferior teams. So it's really when we drop on Monday's episode, that is the big story.
Yep.
Can I review the 41 games?
Please.
2 Dodgers, 4 D-backs, 3 A's, 3 Padres, 3 Rangers, 3 Dodgers, 3 Padres, 3 D-backs, 2 Dodgers, 3 Phillies, 3 Pirates, 3 Brewers, 3 Giants, 3 Mets.
And by the way, you read a couple of those. So the Pirates stick out as one that wasn't great. And it was remember, everyone was like, "Oh, they should sweep the A's." The A's are 2 games over 500, and they actually were. The A's were actually 4 games over. They lost 2 in a row, and they both were bullpen games. So that sweep up over there really looks a lot better than you think. So
yes. Well, and this is by far the most difficult schedule in the sport. Most sites on the internet machine that track this sort of thing say that, and they have the Cubs for the whole rest of the year with the easiest schedule left.
Yep.
And maybe the easiest stretch starts Monday.
Oh, no. Monday starts the easiest stretch in baseball for the year.
I mean, you have 9 games, Marlins, White Sox, Marlins. Okay. So, yeah, that's a big story here.
Reds, Rockies, Reds, Nats. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, gosh. And the Mets and the Nats have fallen a little bit after flirting with 500, right?
Yeah, they're not a good team.
Okay. Also, the Reds are playing right now, which I didn't know until about 30 minutes ago.
2-2 bottom 8.
Okay. Mets right now are minus 160 favorite on FanDuel for Friday nights. I think it would really jack up the weekend if they won Friday.
Yeah.
I do want to do a quick Queens weather report, though,
Oh,
because
no.
I have a prediction that the
Oh,
Cubs
no.
are not going to play till 12:40 Central Saturday. I think they're going to do a day-night doubleheader. 100% chance of rain Friday in Queens.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I wanted to break that news to you on the air. There's rain chances all day. I predict that they don't play.
Oh, why did I not know this?
You should. Yeah, how's it looking on your end on the weather sites that you use?
It looks a little better.
Oh, it's improved then since I prepped
45
several hours ago.
45% at first pitch.
Okay,
Ah,
but a lot of rain throughout the day. You see that, right?
all day.
All day. So.
I don't like that at all.
All right. Well, Craig Counsell had a lot of things to say this week, while also basically sometimes saying nothing at all, which is not an issue, not anything like that. I just wanted to play a little bit of audio. Then Sam has 2 questions that he's going to ask AI Craig Counsell. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. I went with the favorites again, and the Celtics blew another 20-plus point lead at home and lost. Absolutely insane. But I'd like to shift over to our sport, baseball, to let you know the current odds for the National League MVP. The favorite is Shohei Ohtani at plus 250. Who's second? The right fielder for the boys in blue, Kyle Tucker, at plus 400. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's a bad bet at all. I really don't. So if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet on Kyle Tucker plus 400 for MVP. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook betting partner of the NBA.
I'm just happy that the Cubs have a player that's in that conversation.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool. And goes to show, even despite the last couple of weeks, that he's still trending that highly.
Well, because I think people think really highly of this Cubs team too. And if they win 95 plus, and he has an OPS in the 9s, he might finish second.
Well, when I checked this afternoon, the over/under wins on FanDuel was 93.5.
Oh, was it? I meant to check that.
That's a lot.
Wow.
I'm going to play 2 pieces of audio here.
Oh boy! By the way, folks, I have no idea what he's about to play. I didn't even know. I hope I'm not expected to ask questions now. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you got to have 2 questions ready.
Oh, okay. So the ones we talked about.
So Craig Counsell. I just want to play the 65. I think it's about 65 seconds, a cut from yesterday.
Okay.
I want to just play how he sounded after the loss. And people are asking about Horton in the middle. Stay tuned for that. I just want to play this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there were some bright spots. The strikeouts certainly were bright spots. Kind of battling through the first inning. But on a day like today, I thought against the starters, we walked 2 leadoff hitters. That's 2 of their 3 runs. Our rallies against Ray came with 2 outs, so we didn't get it. Make him make a bunch of pitches until 2 outs, really, in a couple of innings. So when it was tough to hit on a day like today, or the home run was a tough thing. Getting the leadoff hitter on and creating some traffic early in an inning seems to be a pretty good recipe to. That's how you got to score. They did it, and we couldn't do it. We're going to huddle up after the game here and talk about it, yes.
So that's Craig Counsell after a loss. Don't you think Monday's game was an exciting win?
Yeah.
I just have a 20-second cut from that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we took advantage of some mistakes tonight.
This is real.
But we also put some pressure on them, I thought, with base running, some base running moments, and then just kept kind of moving the line and ended up with a big number on the board.
What? Dude.
Hey, man. I thought out of all that stuff, you would respect that because you like to be even keel.
I know I've taken a little bit more of a page out of his book this year myself.
I mean, he's
inspired me.
That's how he is, man.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's just it's wild. Like the measurement, the meter measurement after a win and loss, it's the exact same.
I think that's a good thing for the most part. I mean, I'd like a little bit more animation, but that's me. Look at me.
No.
No.
So I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask AI Craig Counsell 2 questions.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
There's a couple players on your mind.
Yeah, I got to.
And so let's see, because I'm bringing him in right now. I think he's ready to go.
All right, Mr. AI, Mr. AI Skip. My first question would be
no.
Sam Olber, by the way, Locked On Cubs. I'd like to say my affiliation. I think Ryan Presley's really struggled in the closer role. I think his peripherals are a little bit worse than his actual numbers. Do you still believe in him as the closer for the Chicago Cubs?
Ryan is the closer. He's not defined by one outing. There was some rough patches early on, but then he got it together. Tuesday night wasn't good, but he's been pretty good this year, and he's proven he can be a good major league closer throughout his career.
AI Craig Counsell sounds like he's not from Milwaukee.
Yeah. All right. That answer sounds about right. Although I actually
to his voice.
I actually do believe that Ryan Presley is not going to be the closer very soon. But
will Hodge close Friday?
I think so. All right. I have a second question for AI. This will be the last one, Craig. AI Craig.
No.
Look, I don't know how to say this in a professional manner. Still Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs. It's a tremendous podcast. Gets tons of listens. If you ever want to come on, by the way, you can. Does it at all frustrate you when you are in the dugout and you watch Seiya Suzuki take strike 3, once or twice every game? Is that frustrating to you, or is that just who he is?
I think the zone can change from game to game slightly. But after your first at-bat, you have the information on how the person behind there is going to call the game. It's up to you as the hitter to decide if that impacts your decision-making. But overall, Seiya is doing a nice job at the plate.
Is AI Craig from San Antonio?
Yeah, he's got some southern twist to him.
All right.
All right. Well, I thought maybe if the everydayers stuck around, I hope they do. Maybe they got some laughs this morning.
We're gonna have
or whenever you're listening, really.
We're gonna have a new soundboard, aren't we? And it's gonna be the breathing, isn't it?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I thought the highlight of the whole segment was when I said, "Well, look at me," and then you both no.
Yeah, I got to replay that at some point.
All right. Well, look. Let's see. All year the Cubs have one series that we went in thinking just win one game. So maybe this weekend won't be any different.
That's true.
Good luck to Cade Horton.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It is good. No, you're right. It is going to be must watch. I'm clearing the schedule, and I'm excited. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, we're going into the weekend. Cubs need to get 1 to finish the 41-game stretch, and more than that would be tremendous. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.